Good evening, dear friends. Good evening, Europe. This is Social Talks. My name is Olga Prykhodko. We are on Universo Latino channel, and we are very glad to invite you to join our live interview. Today we have another extraordinary guest, a Slavic soul, a person with a Latin heart and Slavic blood, Slavic soul. Vladimir Semenčić, organizer of a Summer Paradise, Croatian Summer Salsa Festival, and other events connected to summer festivals in Croatia. So, Vladimir, very, very glad to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello guys, hello Olga, very happy to be here. This is the first time I heard somebody describe me in this way.
I didn't mix anything wrong, but even when we were checking connection testing, I felt this positive energy from Vladimir. People from Slavic countries are very hospitable and very positive, so I'm sure the festivals that you organize are filled with this positive energy, and we will speak about this more in details during our interview. So you are founder of the Sun Salsa brand, which stands behind huge events, largest and most successful summer events in Europe, like Summer Central Days, right? Mm-hmm. And Croatian Summer Salsa Festival. These festivals gather a lot of people from all over the world. And let's start from the top, from the beginning. Before speaking about the festivals, I would like to ask you, when and how did you get into the salsa world, salsa community? How salsa invaded your life? How that happened? And who were the people who inspired you to stay in the process in the salsa community for a long time, to keep going?
It's a lot of questions in this one, but I'll try to tell a little bit of my story, how I got into dance actually. And then when I got into dance, then first it wasn't salsa, it was just during my student years, it was ballroom dances, waltz and those stuff, which me as a student went to learn so I can be able to dance something outside. But even before that, my family has a house on one island in Croatia, because I'm also from the coast side of Croatia, born and raised and lived, so that is the connection with sea from me. And every summer, before it was less clubs, more live music, and I was basically raised with live music. It wasn't salsa, it wasn't live bands, but if it was there, I would love it too. But I had a good friend with mine, so we kind of, as kids, when we were allowed, like 10, 11 years, we were allowed to be until like 9, 10 at the evening out. We went to these restaurants, but not inside. We were watching from outside people dance. So we were like, oh, when we become older, we'll go into dance. And it was, 11, 12, 13, 14, we are allowed to stay longer. And we made our first steps there with live music, and it was mix of a lot of, not that, but basically I think the passion for dancing and socializing was already been there before the salsa. And during my student years, I came in touch with dance as a part of going outside to on the parties where also was playing music, to kind of interact with the ladies and stuff. And there, actually, I got introduced and I met all the core team of the Sun Salsa family that we are now organizing the festival. So basically, it happened at this time, and then we heard salsa is in town. That was around 2002, and that then we just switched from the kind of the usual waltz kind of stuff to the salsa. Yeah. So that is like a really short part.
And you organize your own dance company in Zagreb, and also you were organizing a number of local events, and plus traveled internationally. Do you still teach in this school, or you have a lot of other teachers? Which styles are represented? And did you think that salsa and Latin American culture would influence your life so much?
Look, no way. I mean, as I said, the main intention for learning to dance was socializing. As I think it's for, I don't know, maybe 80% or 90% how people get into the dance is they want to meet somebody, they want to get a new company and so on. We did start a dance company. Yeah, this is my wife Daniela. We were teaching this at some festival. I don't know, I forgot where, but I'll remember later probably.
Okay.
And because we wanted to do it as a hobby, so at one point it was becoming really time investing, and we organized the festival. So I was doing the parallel my main job, and this at one point I quit my main job, but basically the main kind of income that was supporting us started to be a festival, because the scene in Croatia was never so strong, and we never took that direction. We worked a lot in the scene, local scene, bringing a lot of local events, but it was never a serious thing in a way we will live from the teaching of the dance. And at one point when we got 2 kids, not me, but also others from the team that were doing together, it was just impossible to support the lifestyle where you need to work for the festival a lot. You want to have some time for the family too, and then you would need to have a dance school. So we kind of stopped the teaching part of career, which was actually brought us a lot of great moments with people, a lot of things that we now implement into the festival was because we had this experience as teachers. We work with people, we understand what we were, those people, beginners. We were going to festival, learning from other teachers. So when we make a program for the, let's say, fans of the festival coming, it's like we are making we are using that experience to make it best for the people incoming. And of course, going to the festivals not only for promoting, is just to keep the contact with the scene, to know what is happening, which are the trends, what is good, what is bad, how the people react, and to get in personal contact with the people, and also with the artists and the DJs, of course. So it's a kind of circle that we go through every year. After the festival, we take a break. We start September. We start making the program for the festival for the next year, and we start traveling. And every month it builds up. So basically, and then we close the circle, we finish the festival, we rest, and then we start another circle. And every time we learn a lot, we implement a lot, and we kind of build a little bit a festival every year we build it up a little bit. So it's not like a revolution being made from one year to another year, but we keep up with what everything is going on.
Thank you. And I would like to emphasize to our audience that you may write the comments and the questions. We will pass them to Vladimir, and he will answer during our interview. And of course, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel and get closer to the people, to the stars, to the Latin lovers who inspire you. So you attended a lot of festivals, you were traveling a lot around the world as a participant, and interesting, which festivals impressed you a lot and inspired you to organize your own events?
So, I mean, it's not a secret. When we started, before we made a new festival, actually the idea of the festival didn't come from the air. So when we didn't even have the festival, we started the dance school. And because at that time, around 2002, there was not so many events to like local events, or now you can. Every country has several festivals, and before it wasn't like this. So I googled, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't Google at that time. It was some other search engine, whatever it was, and I heard for some festival in Prague, and I went alone there, and I was mesmerized by the experience I had there because the energy was so good. There was a...
Which year?
That was 2004.
Oh, okay, because I was 2009 in Prague. It was another great event, maybe.
Yeah. They had really organizers Daniela and Mikael from Prague.
Yes.
Daniela and Mikael from Prague. And actually, it was a funny thing. The first night I came there, I didn't know how festival looks like. And there was only one table, big table available to seating. So me not knowing what's happening, I wanted to first sit, check what's happening, and then go to dance. And since there was no other place to sit, I sit at this table. At one point, the people started to come. They started to speak together. Later on, I realized it was artist table. So there was Super Mario, there was Grisel Ponce, there was a lot of artists that came to this table. They were talking with each other. I thought it's like, oh, how these people all know each other? And then I asked one girl that was there, does she know to dance salsa so we can go to dance? She looked me a little bit, she was teacher. So, and after that dance, I was like, okay. And actually, the whole experience really impressed me that I went back to and proposed to my team to do a festival in Croatia. From that point on, actually every event that I go to has something I take with me back home. There are of course some events that have put the standard so high and have their signature. They stand for certain thing, and that's why people come. We are season salsa holiday. People come for holiday, for fun, sun, and combined with the great dancing. There are many events that are really good, and especially now there are a few events that are very well known for, like a social dancing paradises. From all that time before, where you had just a salsa festival, all was having the same formula, but nevertheless all had the same great energy because there were not many. With time, the scene developed, and now we can see like marathons, social dance event with some workshops. You have only like mambo events, you have this event. So now it's much more have specific focus on certain things, but some events really made it because of their some formula where the location is combined with accessibility, with all-in-one hotel, great combination of artists. Or I like, for example, Vienna Salsa Congress, because it does bring that spirit of togetherness about the social dancers. You can see that a lot of people that think alike, they come there to socialize, which is, I think, core thing of our community. And then they succeeded to combine the local attractions with the salsa. So this combination of the location and what salsa provides is kind of a great formula for our industry, because especially for international travel, people travel because of the experience. Of course, because they want to learn to dance, but at the end, whatever, a lot of people say, what do you remember? Do you remember workshops or parties, socializing? What do you remember? And most people remember meeting friends, socializing, parties, pre-parties, and of course knowledge. But the thing is, what I think in our industry, why they emphasize this, because as I said, 80 or 90% people came there because of the social part. And of course, they love the music. They love to dance because they wouldn't be there if they didn't like the music and the dance. It's like nobody's torturing them to learn the dance. But I always look for this when I leave the festival. I always try to see not as a business as what I'm going to take from it, but how did I feel on this festival. And when I feel really good, then I think, okay, but then I put my business, okay, they did this good, they did this good, they did this good. If the festival was like, so what did they do wrong? So they did this was not good, this was not good, this was not good. So this helps me in my business. But I go there both as a kind of business, but as a customer. I love going to events. Actually, I miss it so much because it gives me a little bit of not escape, but a little bit of time for also connecting with people in real time. Because when you organize the festival, it's a tough work. You do. It's not romantic work. You do a lot of things in the office. You do a lot of thinking, a lot of spreadsheets and stuff.
No sleep.
Well. I have a good dynamics in work. I don't work every day until late. I have good, but at the end you want to meet people. You don't want to just do this, make some money and then go another festival. For me, this preparation and the meeting people and interaction, everything makes fun. And now we are separated from this social part basically, and that's what I miss.
I'm sure a lot of people miss that. Maybe all the people miss that, not a lot of. And now let's move to the festivals that you organize, your team organize. As far as I know, your festival's supposed to be these days that we are talking right now. That's why actually it was our idea to meet you online, to meet you live, and to talk about your festivals, because you're supposed to be busy on the spot, but unfortunately, due to pandemic, we all are stuck in the houses, in the homes. So you organize your festivals in 2005 for the first time.
From 2005,
yes. First, let's start with the Summer Central Festival, or Summer Central Days. So tell us about the concept of these festivals in general.
So in general, it was not too creative. Let's say it was creative, but not too creative, since we took a basic structure for the festival out of the festival, which I said Prague Festival, which was again took the basic structure from another festival and so on. So we had like a 3.5 day festivals, like Thursday, Sunday, the first year. After a few, like 1 or 2, like 2-3 years, we kind of, already from first year, we wanted to introduce the sea and sun part. So we had a pool party the last day. So basically already at the beginning was something, a festival, but with sea and sun taste, let's say like this. With the time, we didn't actually think ahead too much. We were pretty naive, let's say, or maybe not naive, pretty passionate at that time. We just wanted to do things. It's like, I think it's good, when you're attracted to something, if you start thinking too much how we do it, then maybe you never do it. So we just get head on. We try to, of course, watch the details, but with time, you start to, as I told you before, with time you have 1 year to see what's wrong, what's better, to listen what people say, and to make the experience better. So basically, from the first day, it was only salsa. First year, it was only salsa festival. Mm-hmm. 4 days. Now we are to 18 days. But 18. Basically, 18 days. And it was like every year was like, let's add 1 day more. And then my team looks at me, are you crazy? And so on. But,
so it's like a summer vacation for people.
Yes.
Who want to spend 18 days, like almost 3 weeks.
Actually, a lot of people, I was surprised, a lot of people come for even 3 weeks.
So this festival, Summer Central Festival, comes before the Croatian Summer Salsa Festival. And you made this like a separate festival in two different places, in Rovinj and Opatija.
Yes. So basically, the Summer Sensual concept was made because, as I told you, with time you could see that the scene was dividing: salsa, Cuban, bachata, kizomba, and actually certain audiences were not compatible in a way. So for example, bachateros prefer festival where there's mostly bachata, because they have all the good DJs, all the stars of bachata and everything. So they are not interested in everything else. Kizomberos especially. So it was actually a decision at one point to make a sensual festival. With time, it was also 7 days. With time, it was also started 3 days sensual, but with time, blah blah blah, it comes to 7 days. And actually, my idea and my team's idea was to create something in another city, which is actually city next to the city where I was born, Opatija, and which is very close to Rovinj. It is very nice, romantic, touristic city with a lot of potential. So basically, it was an idea to offer something different because Rovinj was for some people getting too big. So we wanted to create a kind of a boutique event, a little bit smaller, and provide a bit different experience, especially for people who were coming many years already to Rovinj and wanted to try something new. So that's why we branched to Opatija. But basically, we didn't do the festival in some other time because we realized June is a really good time for people to take holidays. And for us, production-wise, is easier to make it all at once.
Of course.
So that's the idea. And we wanted to do it sensual because it wouldn't make sense to make the 3-day salsa, then the 7-day sensual, then again 7-day salsa. So now it's like this, and maybe in future, now it's a little bit. Plans have obviously changed because of all the crisis and everything.
Of course.
But there are some projects that we like to do in future, but now we'll see how things develop. Yeah.
And why, in your opinion, the sensual dance styles are so popular around the world and getting more and more popular? And as we were talking already several minutes about that, so organizers create separate events, separate sensual dance events. So what do you think, your own opinion, why sensual styles are so popular right now? Yes, it's a very interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. Look, what I mean, I discussed it with a lot of my colleagues from both artist circle and the promoter circle, and there's no secret that so the sensual music that is being, let's say, so kizomba music, especially urban kids music, and the bachata music for sensual bachata style of dance, let's say, it uses a lot of modern music, and by that they reach, I think, they cross the gap to reach the fans, to reach the audience much easier than with salsa. And plus, they reach the younger audience. So if you see in bachata, there is a lot of young audience being involved. And not in bachata, like Dominican. You will not see that, but basically the dance and the music attracts a lot of young people. And I think it's actually, without going into debate about is it good for the scene, for the future, whatever, I think, people are enjoying, the girls are enjoying. I think it's the physical element of the sensual bachata gives a lot of opportunities to develop as a dancer. Because
but I think also the guys are enjoying as well.
Yeah, no, the guys are enjoying as well. But I think the girls looking from outside, so not the social part, now just the dance part of the social dance. I think a lot of people in bachata, when learning sensual bachata, forget to dance. Basically, they know to lead, they know to hug, they know to touch. Yes. But if you see like guys that dance Dominican bachata, now you shut down the music and you can hear the music when you see them dance. But if you see the guys dancing sensual bachata, you turn off the music and you see just the poses. So I think there's a lot of it's great for the social part, the sensual bachata, for the social part when they get connected, and the sensual part. But I think dance-wise, I prefer, for example, bachata, Dominican bachata. As far as the kizomba is the same, of course. It gives a pleasure, it gives a connection, it gives a feeling, it wakes up all the positive hormones of the people. So people love that. People love the connection with the other human being. I do prefer kizomba music, but the urban kids music is much more modern. I think it attracts more people. So that's why I think for salsa, you need that gap of loving salsa, listening to salsa is a bit bigger than falling in love with maybe modern music, especially for the younger generation. So that's why I think it attracts a lot of people nowadays.
Yes, thank you. I agree with you completely.
Something of those like, it's a big debate. So this is like a really, really short explanation of my opinion about it.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing your sincere opinion. And I would like to switch to another festival that you organize, Croatian Summer Salsa Festival, that comes after Sensual Summer Days. And this festival is really impressive. My fault, I've never been there. I don't know how that happened.
Why I'm speaking to you at all?
Well, I would like to find out more for myself, and we will share your...
I need to sell it to you now.
I'm sure people will hear and will join your festival next years, and they will be able to dance at the summer paradise that you organize after this crisis is over, including myself. How many countries did you calculate, or did you find out how many countries are represented on the festival map, and how many participants attend annually your festival?
Every year a little bit more, but I think I would say at least 65 countries that I'm positive there are there. It might be more, but that was a few years ago information. So I would say around 60-65 for sure. I know that the hotel, some people from hotel company told me that they didn't even see some of the passports in their life from where people are coming. So no, I mean, I'm really now I cannot say I'm not used to that information. I think some 7-8 years ago we had a big group from Singapore coming, and I remember that I was at the registration, and the young lady came and she said, "Hello, we are 13 people from Singapore." And I was like looking to my friends. I was like, 13 people from Singapore came to our event. And at that time, well, it was, 2012, it wasn't still that much international travel from all over the world. So I said, wow, I mean, it was a big compliment for us to have like 13 group so big coming to Croatia, because it's not a trivial trip, like from Singapore to Berlin, Singapore to Warsaw, Singapore to Vienna, Singapore to London, Singapore to Frankfurt, Barcelona. Probably there are direct connections. To Rovinj, you need to pull it off. So if you're coming from a different continent, it's not easy. And I was like really thankful for these people attending. Yeah.
And I know that Ukraine is also on the map, and every year a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mark Anthony Shepard is promoter, and he is gathering big groups, and I all the time sitting and envying them, watching these beautiful pictures. Well, so it's my future goal. And by the way, Denis, organizer of Ukrainian festival, gives you best regards right now. He's watching us. So we had an interview with him last Wednesday.
Hi, Denis. Hi, Denis.
So,
hope everything will get back to normal, kind of normal 2021, and we'll be doing the events. Maybe not as usual, but at least we'll be doing them, and then things will easier get better.
Yes. We hope so. Yeah. So coming back to the festival, this festival is really huge, not only in terms of the participants numbers, but you have big program, a lot of pool parties, open airs, a lot of probably events during the festival going on during the day, from the morning till the dawn. So how many people are in your team, and who is responsible for making this schedule of the events? By which criteria you select artists, DJs, and so tell us about it.
Again, several questions. No, I'll answer. No, I got it. As I said, the program develops year by year. So let's say when we did the first one, we made it. It was good. It was good. So we didn't need to change the second year like completely. We did fine tune something. Let's say 10%. Then the second year we try with something. I'm happy that basically in Rovinj there is so much nice places we can do something. And at the beginning it was only in the hotel and one pool party, something like this. With the time, the city appreciated what we do, so we had a really good connection with them. When we say, look, we want to make a big party in the main square, they say, yeah, we'll make the necessary papers, we'll approve it, and then we make a big concert in the main square, which was also the first year. So the idea was from the start to make it a festival that blends with the city, and we are happy Rovinj is not like a huge, like 1 million people city, but it's just big enough, but not too big enough and not too small enough. So basically the festival grew little by little, and in the period of 10 years, it's like 3,000 people. But we started with 250 people. So it was a long road to come to this play. And by this, we could learn how to adjust to the number of people. Because if at first year somebody give us 5,000 people, we would die. It was already stress for 250 people. So we were learning by mistakes. We were growing as managers, and we were kind of finding our own place in the hierarchy. Who should do production, who should do this, and so on. Who will organize it, who will coordinate. It was a lot of course, stress and painful realizations, and it was not easy. And I think, but managing through this crisis that we had, we kept being alive, and I think that is one of our greatest strengths. Of course, Rovinj is a beautiful city, but it's hard to keep running like so many years. So, like for example, Berlin, Warsaw, many other festivals that keep running for 10, they like really a lot to be consistent, because things around you change. You work with certain people in the venue, in the hotel, and their stuff change, their goals change, and sometimes maybe they just don't see you are important, and they just kind of don't want to work with you. So we were lucky to keep that connection with everything and growing at the same time. And now basically, Rovinj is people are calling like private people that own accommodation call us now, do something, because they're used that we come every 2 weeks, end of June. So and as far as the artist, it's kind of we go with the gut feeling as far as the cooperation, in terms of we like to work with people who we feel we have the same values and the kind of approach to do things. So they need to be professional in terms of doing
DJs.
what they do,
Okay.
doing what they do responsibly, and also connecting with us as a team. So that is one of the most important things. If you come there like I'm the king, you will not be an artist in our event, because it's not about one person. The energy that is being created is because of mutual appreciation of everybody that is involved in the organization, and that means the core team, the volunteers, the production team, the artists, the DJs. So if you have a lot of these lone wolves or stars, or people that don't like to cooperate and don't like to work as a team, then you just make yourself a recipe for disaster. You spend a lot of energy on them, and at the end, it's just not, it doesn't pay off. So that's why our lineup, you can see a lot of names that repeat themselves. If we find artists that are really good, and they are really good in a way that they work and they connect with us, I will not change that artist or couple after 1 year working. It's not like you can find it like behind the corner. So I think that is kind of the way how we, and of course they need to do their work part good. So if we looking for certain level of teaching, they need to be professional. So it's also not like I'm a really good friend with somebody and then come to teach. I cannot. We need to have a certain minimum standard that we need to deliver in our event. So the areas, but one of the most ones is like the artists need to fit with us, with the energy, how we work and so on. And then the magic, when we are backstage, we can celebrate. We push each other. When somebody is in a bad mood, he receives the energy from the others and so on. And even I'm so happy, for example, on the Summer Sensual days, the energy between Kizomba and Bachata artists are so good. It's so good. You would say like Kizomberos would be on one side, Bachateros on another, but no, they really work, really good with each other, because they are professional and they are that kind of people that understand they need to fit in and they need to create everything. We are blessed with it, because if we don't need to work, we don't need to think about, oh, this guy, then we can make everything other work. And there is so many things during the it's 2 weeks or 18 days basically. So we cannot be running looking if somebody guy did show up or did not show up. It needs to show up, so on. So that's kind of part.
And so this is festival.
Reconnect.
This festival is one of the festivals where live bands are invited, and we'll now speak with Vladimir about live bands.
Am I live or no?
Vladimir,
I'm good. And the video?
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, do you hear me? So Vladimir, next question will be about live bands. This is one of the few festivals that invite live bands. So by which criteria do you invite live bands, and what is your favorite performer or live band in terms of Latin American culture, salsa?
That's very easy. That's very easy question.
Easy.
So,
Short
so
one.
yeah. So as far as the salsa is concerned, as I said, we do a lot of things from the point that what we like. So when we start the festival, I liked both crossbody salsa and Cuban salsa. So we already from the beginning have a workshop from salseros, from Cuban salsa for Afro-Cuban and so on. And when we decide for the live band, one of the live bands that we feature is always Cuban band. But with Cuban band, this is the deal, you have the Cubans on tour. So if we have like 3 bands on tour, then we choose from those 3 bands. We don't bring bands from Cuba. It's too complicated and maybe too expensive to bring just for one gig a band from Cuba. But we are lucky that all these lot of great bands are basically touring Europe at some point, and we have contact with their managers, so they inform us, and then we choose. And basically, up till now, we had a lot of bands from Cuba. Last year we had Havana de Primera, which was the most attended live band in our event. But we had a very, very good concert from Michael Blanco the year before, 2 years before. And this photos that you can see is the last year's band with Jimmy Bosch and Frankie Vasquez from New York. We brought them together playing with El Chino y Diferencia, a Cuban band from Milan. And we made this kind of one-time cooperation for the Grande Fiesta. And we had a New Swing Sextet from New York, which was a photo before. And they were really great. I mean, there were 7, not 6. There were 7 this time. But they have so good music. They made it so good, and it was different. I like the Cuban bands because the Cuban bands, the good Cuban bands, they make really great live concerts. They do all the mano pa arriba, all the stuff. We had Elito Reve y su Charangon a few years ago, and they were in the Grande Fiesta, which is on our live concert in our main square of Rovinj, and it was crazy. It was one of the memories that I will never forget. So
what is your favorite? Maybe
one of my favorites, because one of the advantages when you're organizer, you can go not just to the backstage, you can go to the stage. And when it's like the final, you can jump with them and so on. So it's a good feeling. It's a good. And for the live bands, I always wanted to have live bands, especially during the summer when it's outdoors. It gives that feeling, special feeling. We do. I wouldn't say it's like on Cuba because it's different. It's not like on Cuba. But as I said, I was raised, when I was a kid, I loved going to live music being played. It was not salsa, nevertheless. So that feeling of summer, of, you have skies above you and the band playing and the people around dancing, drinking mojitos, cocktails, is just incredible feeling. So that concert, although being open for everybody, basically, we don't charge the concert on the main square. It's a part of that summer feeling that we want people to get when they come to, so it's kind of investment in experience, and I think it really kind of pays off because it's a pure passion when you're there.
How young dancers, DJs, who are on just at the beginning of their steps in the artistic world, how can they get to the main stage to perform or to become an instructor at your events? What they should do?
The thing is that normally how we do is, as I said, I think no festival changes, at least in our industry, changes. It's already people that they rely on, because we have a team of people that we work on, and every festival we kind of invite 10 or 15% of new artists or DJs. The thing is, when you invite somebody new, you don't know how that person will fit in. So you don't want to have a lot of new people. You want to have all the people from before, like artists that were on your event, DJs. You can rely on them to do their stuff because they know what to do, and then the new people will fit in. These new people is always a little bit of risk. So what I do is either I see on the festival the people performing or people DJing and so on, and then I ask around, I ask my colleagues. So for example, if I see Indiana Salsa Congress in Mambo City event in London or in Warsaw or somewhere else, if I see a good artist, good DJ, I speak to organizer. I see, do you have problems with this person? Is he professional? How does he work with you, and so on. So I will not probably, if somebody just writes me, it's like a cold call. Writes me email. It will not go if I don't get a really good recommendation from certain people, because then I know that these people they know me, they know what I'm like, they know, they will say, look, but this guy is not for your festival, this guy is better, or something like this, or the girl, so because they know my story and so on. So that is the way. So it's kind of through somebody's recommendation is for me the most way how to do it. But for example, I was in Moscow Mambo Love event, in my last event before Corona, and there was a guy from Ukraine, DJ Marko.
Yes, great DJ. Marko.
So I heard him a few nights, and then I wrote him after the festival, and he was supposed to be with us in 2021. So 2021, but I'll get back to him. We stay in touch, but for example, that is one of the way how it can go. So this is in a sense kind of the reasoning behind
I see.
DJs and artists.
As I said, thank you very much, guys, who is watching us and who are watching us, and people from Russia give you best regards. Anastasia from St. Petersburg.
I've met last few years quite a few people from Russia and Ukraine, and there's so many great and talented people and dancers and DJs. So I love coming to there to meet, and I follow. I know just from some Asya Makeva, she's really good dancer and teacher. I think from St. Petersburg, Svetlana Ray from St. Petersburg, Jay Lee from Moscow, then from Ukraine. You have also very talented dancer, and actually Elena Badzim was with her group.
Yeah, they were performing.
Yes, the group performing, and Victoria was also there, not performing. So really a lot of talents there, and maybe for them it's a bit, I think, harder to get into the European scene because of the distance, I guess, and everything. But I see them doing a lot of good things in their own environment. So yeah. Sorry, and we love to have. You told me about Slavic soul, and we actually I love to have people from also East Europe and from Russia and Ukraine to our event. They really do bring certain emotion that contributes a lot to many festivals, especially ours too. So yeah, I will continue cooperating with Russia and Ukraine for sure in future.
Okay, so can you give some advice to organizers of the festivals, especially if in terms of the festivals at the seaside? What are the key aspects to pay attention to?
what would be my advice is to the general
organizers, maybe people who are organizing festivals, especially at the seaside.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say. I would say that it's more like a general advice, because it works for. It's not like a. There's no secret formula, basically. What works for me might not work for somebody else in terms of what I do, but I would say that one of the things that is the hardest is to find the story that attracts your kind of audience. So find your own thing. So for example, again, in Warsaw, they cannot do things we do. They have different setup, they have different everything, the different time of year, so on. So it works something for them. Of course, some people maybe in Greece can do something we do, but maybe the location is not like this. The people working in that location is not like this. So basically what you need is to adjust to what you have. One of the things that is most important, of course, for event is like location, and that determines partly your success. Because if you see, the biggest festival are in the big cities. Because big cities give the benefits of easy and cheap access. So if you have like to Warsaw from Ukraine for 80 euros flight, and to somewhere else 200 euros flight, now it's very kind of beneficial to Warsaw or to some other city. So I guess location is very important when you do the event. So I know that, for example, in Barcelona they do events, it goes good because Barcelona is already a brand. So this is not a smart advice, it's just deciding where to do your event can be already a factor of success or not. This is one of the major factors. And the second factor is the energy you provide and the promotion you do, and how long you do it. If you accept that after 2 years of festival you will have 1,000 people, probably you will not have 1,000 people, nobody. Even for us it's hard to reproduce something that we did in Rovinj, because it takes time. It takes time to connect and so on. And we are happy to have a lot of big network of ambassadors, people we made relationship with years. Not, I call somebody, do you want to work with me? 10 years ago, nobody who knows who was Rovinj, So it took time to make that connection with a lot of people, and then it takes a lot of time to keep that connection with those people. When we travel to the festival, I always connect with my promoters who come to the festival. We go to drink, we go to dinner, and so on. So there's a lot of things that you need, starting from the right location, right program, right artists that will give you their hearts when the people come, and then this business part, promotion, the good design, the good messaging, good communication to audience, which will show them you care, you live for this. Because our industry is industry where it's for passionate people. We are not selling houses or something. We are selling emotion. We are in the, let's say, business of emotion, and the people know if you are authentic or you are just fake. So this is, there's no secret formula. There's so many things important for success. And of course, luck always helps. Luck is one of the good things to have on your side.
You say that we are selling emotions, and now the situation is completely changing due to the pandemic. And you are going to organize the online event. So a lot of people right now online. So what do you think? In general, about online events, and you are, in particular, are organizing this event.
So
in July.
Yeah. So we you said this is the dates of our festival, and we wanted to kind of celebrate it in a way, and there was a way just to kind of post a lot of photos, a lot of videos, and so on, which we do anyway. So the different way was kind of to make a joint effort together with artists, DJs, again, to perform as a team and to deliver in the only way possible now, which is online, to deliver something that our audience will kind of remember about Rovinj, and at least like 10% of that energy will come to them. Of course, it will stay in their minds. And for us, it's also very important to do it, because now when we're doing it, I'm not sitting at home and feeling sorry for myself because my event is finished. We keep ourselves busy because during this process, we are creating something new. And that's what we were doing like 15 years. So it feels good for us to be creating something new, because after the end, we will know some things more about our own technology, about us, about experience. So this is good for us in many ways. And at the end, we'll try to deliver this experience in terms of like a season salsa TV, where we will be streaming some content which will be, I hope, exciting. We are getting, as I speak, today was the deadline, but we'll have 2 more days. DJs, artists are recording really nice and great material, which for many of them is the first thing stuff. So for them is also, I think, new experience, and we are kind of getting out of them something unique, and we'll try to deliver it online, which is the only way how we do that we can do it. But also we'll go to Rovinj and Opatija and be there in person, streaming from all the places that our people love. So we'll go to Amarin Beach, we'll go to Hotel Park, we'll go to Main Square, we'll go to some bars that we know our audience goes, we'll speak with the owners. So we'll try to, beside these pre-recorded sessions, we'll try to bring that visual image of Rovinj that will be live, which is, different when you play commercial or when you are live there. So we just hope that this will kind of make some people smile. Of course, we all feel sad that we'll miss the experience of being there and dancing and rocking and partying and everything that we do. But we are telling that we are still here. We are planning the next year's event. Of course, carefully watching what's happening, and we'll adjust what will be. But I'm sure, in some way, we'll be there in 2021. In best way, is going to be like before, with a lot of people coming, and that's what we are hoping for. But for me, it's just important that they let us do, at least in certain way, our stuff, and we'll manage something. We are creative, we'll do something, and people will be happy.
And we have a question from Anastasia Blahina from St. Petersburg. Nastya, привет. She says, how do Vladimir see the festival after 10 years? But you already almost answered it. We do not know. But,
after 10 years, what do you mean, in 10 years from now?
Yes.
I will be sitting somewhere for the 8 years, going around, enjoying with people. Somebody else is going to work it like my son maybe, and the sons of my friends. So we'll leave it to the younger generation, and we'll enjoy the party.
Another person, Anna, she is from Ukraine. She's living in Krakow right now. She says, hi, Olga and Vladimir, love this interview. I want to be a part of Croatian festival. We all want to be a part of Croatian festival.
Yeah. Me too. Olga, hello. The other Olga, yeah.
And so we are coming to the final parts of the interview. So tell us shortly, you have your own podcast. And you make also interviews, right? You have different topics. So what is the main purpose, and what topics do you raise?
So actually, I finally made time actually for this for the podcast, because I wanted to. I had some time already a wish to do it, but because of so many things in my ongoing thing around the festival, just couldn't find time. Corona made time for me at one point. So this is the thing, one of the reasons I do it. For some 4 years already, which is, I'm feeling bad I didn't do it already before. I've been educating myself on the topic of many things, starting from politics, education, growing kids, psychology, and a lot of other stuff, non-dance related, with listening to certain podcast figures that are delivering on both YouTube and podcast format a lot of useful knowledge for self-development. And basically I learned and developed a lot through these things, and it actually opened the way that I realized how many people are actually using the podcast series to develop for self-development. So I wanted to actually do in salsa certain things like this, because during the festival or during when I travel, you meet a lot of these people, you are friends with these people, especially artists and DJs, but you never had time too much to discuss with everybody. You always hang out with certain group of people, you say hi, bye to others or just a few words, but basically you don't have time to maybe ask them certain things. So I wanted to use this podcast to first as a challenge for myself to try to kind of get out of my safe zone, comfort zone about learning how to speak, how to moderate and stuff, at least online, but also to bring in some interesting content which is behind the scenes, which is very interesting. And you know, when I speak a lot with my colleagues, we sometimes actually we go travel and meet for 2 days out of the festival just to discuss things in the industry, and it's never enough time. So there is, I think, a lot of things that can be brought to the viewers. Interesting topics. Some people find some topics interesting. Some people find some other things interesting. Some people third. So that's why we have. I speak with artists. I'll speak with DJs. I'll even speak with some social dancers, our ambassadors, and so on. And there are so many topics as you. I mean, the same. To speak about, because there's a lot of interesting people there. And I think listening to the people's stories can, for me, it always opens another perspective, another way of thinking that sometimes I sometimes listen to some podcasts like 10 times, or I listen a podcast which is 1 hour, I listen first 5 or some 5 minutes, which is very important for me to repeat to myself or certain things like this. So there is a lot of things that we can put out there. Plus, it's always a good promotion to speak and to put some interesting to create content which is connected to our brand too. So I think there is a lot of benefits. And at the beginning, I spent so much time getting technology, this microphone, but I love technology, so I get this setup and so on. And at the end, now I'm really happy with the result.
Yeah. And I wish you great success with your projects. You have so many projects. You're very active and purposeful personality. I'm sure you will get positive results because action makes the results.
Thank you.
So besides salsa, what are you doing in your life besides organizing events? You have a family with kids.
Yeah. So it's interesting when you're really young, you have so many hobbies, so many things you do, so unpredictable way. When you kind of grow a little bit older, not all, but as you grow older, the thing you do, it's not a routine, but basically you have more responsibility, which is in a way normal thing. So aside from my work for salsa, I find very big pleasure in my family, and there is with kids. I have 2 kids, one 6.5, one 4 years old. Mia is 4, Vito is 6.5. it's so much work around them. So, but I find pleasure because you learn from kids. You to be a good parent, if you want to spend time with kids, it's good to educate yourself. So you spend some time learning about things being a parent. You do by mistake, learn by mistake things. But you need to spend time with them, and I enjoying this process because every year they are different. You need to be to the task to be for them in their as they need you to be, and so on. But I also love very much sport. I do at least 4 times a day. I do my practice workouts and stuff to be able to keep up with the kids.
To be in a good shape.
To be in good shape and to get the stress out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of before when I was younger, I enjoyed playing guitar with the company, but as I said, now you have a lot of responsibilities and life pushed a little bit, so not so often like this. I like traveling, of course. Traveling, well, for now, traveling is mostly for salsa. If ever I stop organizing event, I will have definitely more time to travel even outside, because that going outside, it actually, you go outside that bubble that you make for yourself in your own world. And then that gives you a kind of a challenge to see what's outside that bubble. I don't know if you know, I spoke with one of the social dancers, Danai from Cuba, but she lives in Europe. She's a very interesting person, and she's
traveling all over the world. I know.
Yes. And I was always, yeah. But I admire her for what she has done, because to travel where she has been, it's not so easy. You know, you need to adjust to the place where you've been, and it's not everywhere like in Europe. You know, it's different culture, different things. So I think this travel thing is I would love to travel more outside of the salsa to experience a little bit more what's around.
And before coming to our final question, we have a traditional final question. I would like to say thank you very much, guys, who are watching us. We have a multinational audience, and we have best regards from Azerbaijan to you, Vladimir.
Thank you very much.
In the house, and they are Aygun. Hello, Aygun. Привет, Aygun.
Hello, Aygun. Hello, I know Aygun. hello.
She says thanks for amazing interview, and
hope to see you again on the festival very soon, Aygun.
Yes, she's a very close friend of mine. We are traveling a lot with Anastasia from Russia. We travel together very often, share, the hotel rooms, but now we're all stuck in our homes, so miss this part. So hope to see you, my friends, very soon, face to face. And thank you, guys. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and get closer to the people like Vladimir, who inspire me for sure. Thank you very much, Vladimir. You are a very inspiring person with all your energy, all your interesting projects that you not just think of, but you are fulfilling in real.
Thank you very much.
And we are not finishing. We have a question. We are making this question to our guests. What is your formula of success?
Yeah, I don't think. One of the things. I don't think about being successful. I'm thankful for the path that I followed opened for me, and basically I'm kind of shark in the water. You know, if you stop, you kind of die. It's not like this, but I feel this. I have this feeling that you need to educate yourself. You need to keep your eyes open all the time, not to okay, now this is going, I'm like this, and it will be forever or something. I think it's very important to be aware of things that are going around you, and to have open eye and kind of to be always a bit on your toes. There's something I picked up, a good kind of philosophical concept that I might maybe just finish with how to answer this, and it goes well with what I just said. It's one of the possible description of yin and yang symbol, and they say it's like you don't live in white or black, you always live in the edge, on the border. Because if you're too much in the order, something will happen to you, you will not see it. If you're too much in chaos, you cannot create. You are going crazy and nothing is good happening to you. But if you are in the middle, you are always in a way that you are attentive, focused, but also you have integrity, you have control, kind of control over the stuff. So that is kind of my philosophy of success. And of course, sometimes something pushes you to the chaos part and something out of your control, and you need to get out of it. And sometimes it's really terrible things, and sickness or this or that, and you cannot blame somebody. But if you are like sitting in your own bubble and living peacefully and not being active, if something happens to you, you are not ready, then it's kind of partly your decision. So I guess this kind of answers the ways to success is kind of being attentive, being proactive in a way, and then that is a good way not to get in trouble too often.
Vladimir, thank you very much for being a part of our social talks on Universo Latino channel. It was very inspiring interview. I'm very glad personally to meet you. Unfortunately online, but I do hope we will meet face to face and all together with all this salsa, bachata, kizomba dancers. We will be able to see each other in real, on dance floor, at the seaside, beautiful nature of Croatia. So I wish you great success, and that all the projects that you produce shall be successful, I'm sure. And I hope all the people around you, your family, are safe and healthy. So thank you guys for being with us. This is Social Talks. Vladimir Semenčić.
Thank you very much, Olga. You are also doing a lot of, I see, with passion. And thank you for opportunity to be in this in the interview. And I can also learn from you. You guys are doing this so professionally that I need to do some pimp up my podcast too. So compliments to you and your guys that are involved in your very nice.
I have a very good team, Jane and Sergio. They are helping me. So without them, I would not be able to make all these beautiful pictures and videos and all this story by myself. So I'm very grateful to my team and to all the people who are joining us every Wednesday. See you in July, guys. We have a lot of surprises for you. Other guests, we will tell you a little bit later and announce our guests. So thank you very much and hope to see you soon. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Olga Prykhodko. I've been dancing and singing salsa for many years. While I was traveling a lot, participating in numerous dance and music events around the world, I met stars in the world salsa community, whom I would like to introduce in my new project called Social Talks. I will be interviewing famous people and representatives of Latin American culture, and they will share their experience. They will tell about their ups and downs, and of course, they will inspire you. Subscribe to our channel Universo Latino on YouTube and other social networks and find a lot of interesting and useful information. Get closer to the stars who inspire you. Salsa unites people.